We're going to do two different dessert grilled cheese recipes. The first one has got apples in it. So we're going to start out, we've got a little bit of butter here, a few tablespoons of butter.
About 2 tablespoons of butter, and then 1 apple cored and sliced up thin. I didn't peel it, you can if you want, but I thought it was prettier this way. And to that, you're going to actually add a tablespoon of water.
Okay, right in there?
Right in there, gives a little extra moisture, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon. And it's going to actually provide a glaze to the apples. So you want to cook those, several minutes, 5 minutes, till they're tender. Okay, not overcooked, but you're making a apple chunky sauce.
Okay, so we're going to let those hang out and do their thing, and then we're going to get back to you apples in just a minute, and we're going to get back to the sandwich. That we're going to use those in a minute, but we're going to move on to sandwich number 2, which is instead of regular bread, we're using banana bread.
This is actually a great dessert, and banana bread is kind of different, is the way we're using this, and we're using it with Wisconsin Fontina cheese, which pairs really well with that sweetness as well.
So go to the grocery store, buy some banana bread, or if you make homemade banana bread, make it homemade by all means. You can use the box mix to make banana bread. I have a killer banana bread recipe I've made on the show. It's in my latest cookbook. It's a blender banana bread.
Yes,
that is
I've seen
just
that too.
Delicious. So whatever way you slice it, get some banana bread, slice it up. So
we're going to take 2 pieces.
Okay.
And butter each side.
Okay.
Okay, just on one side. And this is a great technique for any kind of grilled cheese, to butter it with a softened butter.
Instead of doing it in the pan.
Right.
Because you're going to get it more evenly browned.
That's right.
Okay.
And make sure that butter is nice and soft before you do that.
Okay.
And then we're going to flip one over.
Okay.
Now while we're, and then in the meantime, actually, we're going to take a pineapple slice.
Okay.
Okay, 1 pineapple slice per sandwich.
Okay.
And we want to grill that. Okay. And this is fresh pineapple. And maybe about 2 minutes on each side, get some nice grill marks on it.
What a difference
so
that
this is how
makes.
we're going to actually pair fruit with the cheese, and that's really a great combination as well.
Let me check on my apples here.
Right.
Okay, so while we're waiting for our pineapple to do its thing, why don't we get on to sandwich number 2? So what kind of bread are we using for the apple
sandwich number 2, we are using sourdough bread. Okay. Okay, and this apple French toast is what we're making. So it's also great for breakfast too. So
fun. All right, so we've got some eggs. And this sandwich is gonna get dipped.
Right, just like French toast.
Okay, so we've got 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
Okay. A little bit of milk, I see over there.
Yeah, about 2 tablespoons of milk, and then a half a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'll let you do the vanilla there.
You bet.
And I'll have a couple tablespoons of milk. There. And a little bit of vanilla.
And now, people, think it's kind of crazy to mix apples and cheese, but boy, if you've ever had a piece of cheese on apple pie, you're going to change your thinking.
That's right.
Because it really does work.
It really does pair well. And this one is going to use Wisconsin Gruyere cheese, which is one of my favorites, which is really nutty, and it just has a great depth of flavor.
So we're going to have salty and sweet and all sorts of stuff going on. All right, let me get those pineapple going. Let's start putting the apple sandwich together.
Okay.
And we've got one already here, too.
All right, so what we're going to do is take 2 slices here. Now, we're not going to butter it in this case first, okay? We're going to use, I have my cheese here. This is the Wisconsin Gruyere cheese. Okay. And we're just going to lay, about a couple ounces, just kind of spread it around, because we want to make sure it melts, okay? You don't want to have it too piled high, then it won't.
Now, Gruyere, for people who are not familiar with it, it's very nutty, wonderful Swiss cheese, type of Swiss cheese, right?
Yeah.
And you normally don't find it shredded, so you have to cut it yourself.
Right, slice it yourself, and it's a harder cheese, so it's easier to slice with a cheese slicer.
And it's fantastic. We make it now in Wisconsin. It used to be one of those things where you kind of had to get it in Switzerland, but it is a little dabble do you. Yeah, and it's really great.
It's a great eating cheese too, just with cheese and wine. One of my favorites. Okay, now your apples are done there, and then you're going to take a nice generous scoop.
The apples
and put those right in the center there.
Okay. My daughter will be all over this. She loves cheese, she loves apples, and she loves French toast. So yeah, this is kind of a fun one.
Kind of a nice individual French toast. Okay. That's about right there. And then we're going to put our other slice on, like that. And now here we're going to actually dip it into the egg batter. About 10 seconds per side.
So let it hang out there for a second.
10 seconds.
And then some butter on the griddle, correct?
Yes, butter on the griddle in this case.
Because it's like French toast, you can't butter
if you've ever made French toast before, it's going to have that same kind of look to it. It has the egg in there, so you need to watch it. and you're just going to brown it on one side and flip it over on the other. And again, it's always good sometimes when you're making actually any kind of grilled cheese is to cover it or press it down.
Okay,
so that helps to get the heat to the cheese so that it melts nicely.
All right, our pineapple, getting a little bit of color on,
all right,
on the
so
pineapple.
We can pull one of those pineapples off.
Okay, and then we're back to our banana bread here. Okay, so banana bread, and we're going to put this on the...
Actually, put it on the board. We're going to cut it in half first.
Okay.
So let's see, we have a knife right here, or your knife.
Yep.
There. And just cut it in half, and we're going to lay it side by side.
Okay.
So we're going to put it on this side here, the non-buttered side.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Now we're going to take, Amy, some pecans.
Okay.
It calls for about 7 pecan halves, or whatever you could fit on there. So it's a nice nuttiness to it with the banana.
Crunch.
And then I'm going to take some honey.
Ooh.
And for the sandwich, the recipe calls for about a couple teaspoons or whatever you think will work. You know, want to get some nice sweetness on there. And then, of course, we can't forget the cheese. And here we're using Wisconsin Fontina cheese, which is a great melting cheese. And it just has a lot of creaminess, a little bit of tartness to it as well. Now we're going to take this and just put it open face on the grill for a couple minutes to get it going. And then what I have done is just put that face down to get that going too. What's going to happen is we're going to cook this for a few minutes to get it a little brown on the bottom. And then put it in the oven at 350 for the last 5 minutes to get the cheese completely melted. Because there's a lot more sugar in this kind of bread, it will burn quicker, and that's why we're baking it.
Okay, and that way it's going to melt the cheese and warm everything through and all that kind of good stuff.
So we want to make sure that it doesn't get too brown on there.
Let me check on this one. Now, while I'm doing this, tell everybody about this neat new section.
Yeah, what this is part of our Great Pair Share magazine. It's an online magazine at eatwisconsincheese.com, and we've just come out with a new supplement to that, which is a grilled cheese section. Has lots of great information on it on how to cook grilled cheese sandwiches, lots of great new recipes using all kinds of different cheeses.
So this is going to go in the oven just to finish, and we've got one right here that looks absolutely beautiful to serve for dessert. How fun. You can see the cheese gets all melty and the pineapple
isn't that
and
good?
The nuts. Ooh.
You can just put it right there.
This is going to be one seriously good dessert, little crunch.
Yeah, and you see that cheese oozing out of there.
So good. Now let's check on this one. Oh,
yeah, perfect.
This is looking great too.
Isn't that?
The apple French toast. Wow, Karen, that looks fantastic. We'll just let that hang out and finish up here. And again, for all the recipes that we did on the show today, including those savory grilled cheese sandwiches, the sweet dessert grilled cheese sandwiches, my stuffed burger, fox11online.com. Click on the Living tab and recipes, and it'll be right there. And also, while you're there, don't forget to look for our new book club pick. Go get the book, read along with us, and come to our book club meeting in May 13th on Monday at La Java in Swamico, 5:30. Call for reservations. So we'll be back to finish up this apple grilled cheese. Karen, thank you so much. Always great to see you.
Thanks a lot.
We'll be back. Stay with us.